Hi guys, welcome back. It's Lisa, and today I'm going to be sharing with you one of my collections. And recently I was in ReStore and I came across this beautiful collection of Adams Ironstone fine china. And for those of you who may or may not be familiar with Adams, the Adams Company, it started in 1657 producing beautiful fine ironstone china. And so I came across this collection at ReStore. And a little bit of history about the company is Adams was purchased or became part of the Wedgwood Group in 1966. So Adams and Wedgwood are affiliated with each other because they're part of the same group. And so most of you are familiar with Wedgwood and the beautiful fine china that they produce. Well, they acquired or Adams became a part of that company in 1966. And so they continued to produce this pattern under the Wedgwood Group, and this pattern is called Empress. And I'm just going to show you guys the markings on the china, just to show you how the stamping on it changed over the years after it was acquired by Wedgwood. And we'll start here. As you can see on the bottom of this teacup, you can see the stamping here. It shows Adams, and it states on here, member of the Wedgwood Group. And this is what they started doing right after they purchased Adams, or Adams became a part of the company. I'm not sure if it was a buyout completely or if it was a majority stock purchase. I'm not sure how that worked out, but they did begin continuing to produce the Empress pattern under the Wedgwood Group, still leaving the stamping on for Adams because it was an old, or is an old, prestigious producer of fine ironstone china. And so Wedgwood wanted to, I suppose, capitalize on that fact, and so they continued to stamp the bottom of the china with Adams, but they added a member of the Wedgwood Group to that. And that's probably one of the earlier stampings, probably circa 1970. And this pattern stopped being produced in 1988 from what I've been able to find out researching this pattern. And so here's another example of how the stamping changed much later. So this was probably one of the stampings. As you can see, it's changed slightly since the previous one, so it's a lot darker in the stamping. And this was probably circa 1980 perhaps. And then eventually they stopped using the Wedgwood Group on the stamping altogether, probably right before they stopped producing this particular pattern, because by that time people had become familiar with the fact that Adams was now part of the Wedgwood Group. So it looks like they did stop stamping it right before they discontinued this pattern circa 1988. And so that's what would make this Empress pattern a vintage pattern, because it's roughly about 30 years old since the last, about 30 years since the last piece had been produced. And so I hope you can see this, but these teacups were $1 each, and they're in perfect condition. There's no crazing on them. There's no crazing on the saucers either. They were $1 each as well, and I can show you that. $1 at ReStore. But yeah, and then this set here, the teapot, the sugar, and creamer were a set of 3 pieces, and I hope you guys can see that, $8. So this was $8 for these 3 pieces, and then $10 for those 5 pieces. So for under $20, I ended up with a small collection of Adams white ironstone fine china. And you can price these online and get a set of 2 teacups and saucers for about $15. So I feel like that's a really good value, having only paid for this set of 2 for $4. So quite a savings there on this collection. And the teapots, they can be priced anywhere from $30 to, I've seen them as much as $70, and it's going to depend, the value is going to depend largely on the condition of the pieces. These pieces, I inspected them thoroughly before I purchased them, and they're in pristine condition, so there's no crate. But yeah, and I did get this whole collection for $18, and a wonderful collection of fine china, and I did want to come to you guys and share that with you. Some of the things that I like to collect. For those of you who have been with my channel for a while now, you realize that you are aware that I like to collect white porcelain teapots. And so when I found this Ironstone, I was just thrilled.